All right, so somebody on Facebook just let me know that they're coming out with a new June 2009 update, so I'm going to take a look here and see what it's all about. If you're new here, subscribe and hit the bell to keep up with the channel.
Hello, Civ fans. We're back with another update for Civilization 6. The team has been working very hard on the many exciting new changes going into the game very soon. As always, thank you for the valuable feedback you provide on the Civilization Twitter and Facebook pages, as well as on Civ Fanatics and Reddit. We don't always get the chance to talk to you directly, but we're always listening to what you have to say. Now let's go over some of the changes heading to Gathering Storm.
Ooh, this looks good.
What you build will make or break your civilization. Because this part of the game is so important to your success, a significant portion of this update's overall balance pass focuses on production. First up, we've provided more diverse ways for you to earn production. We've increased the output of quarries, pastures, and lumber mills throughout the game so that they have similar output to mines. And once you've discovered mercantilism, you can build lumber mills on rainforest tiles.
Well, that's freaking cool, because, I mean, with lumber mills, the only time you're ever really building them is if they're on a river, so maybe this kind of opens up that gameplay. And then, not to mention, with rainforest tiles, you pretty much just always destroy them. There's no point keeping them, really, so this kind of, I guess, will make you think twice about doing that.
We've also rebalanced buildings so that even if they come in the late game, they will justify the production investment. We're decreasing costs of late game buildings by about 20%. Citizens working on district tiles, like the campus, now increase in effectiveness with late game buildings. We're buffing the effects of many mid and late game buildings like the food market, which provides 4 food, or 6 when it has 1 power. There's a new power lens to help you keep track of the power sources all across your civilization, including the ranges of your power plants.
Okay, well that's really nice, and it just gives it a lot easier and a nice outlook to be able to tell one quick glance kind of thing. So that'll definitely be a decent change, I think.
With our focus on production, we also wanted to revisit a few Civ bonuses. England's Workshop of the World now helps powered buildings generate an additional 4 yield, and their iron and coal mines will extract an extra 2 resources each turn. Additionally, they get 20% production towards industrial zone buildings, and their harbor buildings increase strategic resource stockpiles by 10.
Okay, I think that's good, because I'm pretty sure that's basically double the yield that they got when Gathering Storm was first released, so definitely makes it a little bit more impactful for them.
Wilfrid Laurier's bonus, The Last Best West, now synergizes with lumber mills, which give an extra production, and camps, which give an extra food.
Okay, so it allows farms to be built on the tundra terrain, so that's the same after civil engineering is unlocked. Farms can be built on tundra hills and snow, blah, 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 blah. So mines provide +1 production, lumber mills provide +1 production, and camps provide +1 food, and strategic resource accumulation rate is 100%. Okay, so it's not that big of a change for Canada. It just added lumber mills to the mix. But, I mean, anything will help, basically, because those tundra tiles aren't the best, so it'll be nice to see how this one actually pans out. In fact, probably perfect timing. I haven't played a game with Canada yet, and I'm frickin' Canadian, so maybe we're going to have to change that here in the near future.
Finally, we wanted to revisit the pacing of techs and civics so you can make better use of their unlocks. Our production rebalance should help with this, but we've also slightly increased the cost of techs and civics from the medieval to the atomic eras by about 10%. We're also adding apprenticeship as a requirement for stirrups, and replaceable parts as a requirement for chemistry. We hope these new tweaks to production encourage you to try out new strategies, civs, and city build-outs.
Well, that's pretty cool. I think overall, I'm happy with all of those tweaks so far. I mean, but I'm not exactly an expert on the game necessarily, so what do you guys think? Anybody who's watching this, let me know in the comment section down below what you're thinking about the new changes so far.
Gathering Storm saw the return of the diplomatic victory. Since its launch, we've received some great feedback that it was coming into play too late. To help with this, we've made changes to diversify where you can earn victory points, how early and often players earn them, and how many points are required for victory. For starters, we've introduced more sources of victory points, while increasing the number of points required for a victory. Most of these new points will come from normal sessions of World Congress. Now, when a resolution passes, every player who voted for the winning target option combo will receive 1 point.
Well, that's pretty cool. I mean, the diplomatic victory, I tried it a couple times, and I mean, the one time I did win it, but it was just boring. You're basically just sitting there doing nothing the whole time, waiting for the sessions to come to pass, and it was hard to prevent the AIs that I was playing against from winning with their different things. Like, I almost won a culture game in that game that I was trying for a diplomatic victory just because it took so long.
This means you'll need to spend favor more evenly throughout the game or look for chances to vote alongside other players. New UI elements will let you know what option and target are likely to pass. Points have also been added to all the scored competitions, including a new one, the military aid request, which another player can call when they're being bullied by a warmonger. Like the normal aid request, players who join in will send gold to the target player in a competition to claim favor and victory point rewards.
Well, that definitely sounds interesting. I mean, it's going to be great for when you're playing, it's like a non-aggressive game, but then also, by the looks of it at least, it doesn't mean that you declare war right away. So you can approve that or even start one and vote for it, but then just send money and still get diplomatic favor. It looks like you don't actually have to go to war against the civilization.
To give World Congress a bit more variety, we've also added in 3 new resolutions. Espionage Pact. All spies function 2 levels higher for the target operation, or the target operation becomes unavailable. Military Advisory. A target unit promotion class gains +5 combat strength or loses 5 combat strength. Public Relations. Target player and all players who interact with them get double or half grievances. This should lead to a diplomatic...
Those actually look pretty cool. I'm not really that excited about the last one there. He mentioned the diplomatic thing, but the first 2, the espionage one and then the military, that actually seems really interesting to me, especially the espionage one. I mean, I love me my spies, that's for sure.
Victory that ends up feeling more diplomatic.
Ooh, more diplomatic.
Tightening up our established mechanics in each update is incredibly important to the team, but we also want to make sure we're offering new ways to enhance your personal strategies. A number of systems are being updated with new or rebalanced choices. Starting with dedications, we've added automaton warfare, which focuses on everyone's favorite giant death robot in the late game. During a golden age, it instantly gives you a giant death robot unit. It also grants 3 uranium per turn, and your uranium mines will accumulate 1 more resource each turn. During a normal and dark age, it grants +1 era score for each non-barbarian unit killed with a giant death robot. There are 4 new dark...
Well, that looks pretty cool. I mean, the death robots themselves are awesome, but now you might have to plan out your golden age if you can kind of set it up perfectly so that you hit the technology and then step right into a golden age. That'd make for a pretty devastating combination, even on DD.
Dark Age policies available in the late game. Flower Power, which boosts your rock band tourism with civs you're at peace with, but also increases the cost of other units. Cyber Warfare, which grants +10 combat strength against units from the information and future eras, but grievances against you do not decay. Automated Workforce gives your cities +20% production towards city projects, but -1 amenity and -5 loyalty per turn. Disinformation Campaign grants 3 favor per turn for each broadcast center, but -10% science and culture in all cities.
Well, these look pretty interesting. I mean, normally I don't use the Dark Age policies very often, but this Flower Power one sounds interesting, obviously, for tourism victories. At that point, if you can just sit there and concentrate on pumping out a bunch of rock bands for an entire age, like, that doesn't sound like that bad of a thing to me. The Cyber Warfare, too, especially if you're ahead of the curve in technology. I mean, realistically, if you're trying to take over the world, you don't really care about grievances against us not decaying. Like, everybody hates you by that point. The Automated Workforce one, though, your cities get +20% production towards city projects, but -1 amenities and -5 loyalties per turn. Even that one really could be interesting and useful. Like, especially if you're on a continent by yourself, if you've already conquered everybody there with you, then loyalty's not a problem. It's just basically 20% production. And the Disinformation Campaign, though, that one I'm kind of on the fence about. +3 diplomatic favor per turn for each broadcast center, but -10 science and culture in all cities. I mean, I guess that literally it's only useful if you're going for a diplomatic victory. But I guess time will tell how useful that actually would be. To me, +3 diplomatic favor per turn doesn't seem that big of a deal. But, I mean, until they introduce their new mechanics, it's hard to say for sure.
If you're having trouble keeping track of all those unit bonuses, we've added a Unit Abilities tooltip. Here you can see the many smaller bonuses that a unit has outside of their normal promotions. And on top of all those new changes, we also have 2 brand new map scripts for you to try out. 7 Seas will put you in a map with lots of land connected by numerous small seas instead of big oceans. Small Continents is a returning fan favorite from previous Civilization games. Compared to a normal continents map, it has more numerous but smaller land masses.
Well, holy shit, I'm excited for that one. I always am a big fan of naval battles, and it kind of sucks having your only choices be the island plates or the archipelago. I can never say that right. You know what I'm trying to say. So that's a welcome addition for me, at least. The other one, too, the Inland Seas, or 7 Seas, whatever they called it, that looked pretty cool, because it's basically just like, it looks like a more diverse Pangea map, so it'll be kind of interesting to test that one out, too, especially with domination-type victories.
Give these new additions a try. We're interested to hear what you think.
I'm interested to hear what you think. That's a good segue, isn't it? But anyways, let me know in the comment section down below, what are you thinking about all these different improvements and upgrades? I mean, to me, this looks huge, like a big patch update, and it's awesome that they're letting us know about it right now, too, and there's not a whole lot of time to wait. I mean, we're already in June, so the days are numbered kind of thing. It can't be too long before it comes out.
World Builder's basic mode is ready for prime time. Civilization 6's custom map editor can now be found in the additional content menu by default. You'll no longer have to activate it by going into the game's files. On top of this change, we've been busy doing additional polish work to enhance the UI overall. Our goal is to make World Builder as easy as possible for you to use, as it's your tool to play Civilization 6 exactly how you want. Check out our World Builder how-to video for an introduction on how to create your own maps. That's just a taste of what's coming into the game for our next update. Check out the full patch notes we'll be releasing very soon for every single last change that we've put in. Now, stay tuned to the Civilization social channels. We've got more work and surprises we can't wait to tell you about. Until then, thank you for being an amazing community, and keep on taking one more turn.
Well, there you go. That looks like that's just about the end of that there. The map editor is pretty cool, too. I think I'll have to take a look at that video because I'm guessing it's probably pretty in-depth. But yeah, so I'm overall, like I said, I'm really excited about this. I can't wait to get my hands on it and try it out. So, like I said, I'd love to hear from you. Let me know what you think as well down in the comments there, and we can talk about it a bit. If you're new here, subscribe and hit the bell to keep up with the channel.